who knew he was loved. Okay? Now, it's actually a story about brothers. Who's got brothers? You've got one brother. You've got brothers, you've got brothers. Well, I don't have any brothers, okay? And this is a story about a brother who was his dad's favourite. Anybody want to admit that they're their dad's favourite? Yeah. I was my dad's favourite. That was easy for him. He's known in the Bible for his clothes and his dreams. Apparently, favouritism is something a lot of siblings accuse their parents of. I don't know whether it's true or not. I never accused my parents of having a favourite because I knew I was the favourite. Because I'm an only child, right? So I had the oldest child syndrome, the middle child syndrome, and the youngest child syndrome, all in one. Okay, this time it was true. This boy was his dad's favourite. His name was Joseph, and he was special. And although he was the second youngest, his dad gave him a special many-coloured coat. So not only was his dad his favourite, he gave him something where he was going to stand out and announce it to everybody. Okay? And Joseph had 10 big brothers, okay, and one little brother. Now, I actually have a friend, some of you know, Santos, who has 9 brothers and 1 sister. Okay, 9 brothers, that's a huge family. Joseph loved God and he loved his family. And Joseph was so pleased with his new coat, he showed it to all his brothers. Look what Daddy gave me, this coat. As you can tell, that wasn't going well with the others, okay? They were not happy, really grumpy. They wanted a coloured coat as well. And they told Joseph, just go away. They were very unkind to him. Not only did Joseph have a really, really, really brightly coloured coat, he had dreams as well. Who dreams a lot? I dream a lot. Yeah, I sometimes have really, really weird dreams, and you think like, where did that come from? Yeah. But God sometimes talks to people in dreams, and he was talking to Joseph. And unfortunately for Joseph, the dreams he had was all of his older brothers bowing down to him. And he shared it, the story, with his older brothers. So that did not go down well either. And they harumphed, and they grumbled, and they worked themselves into a real state about it. You know, his dad's favourite, he's giving them a coat, he has these dreams about us all bowing down to him. They were not happy with Joseph. One day the brothers were off looking after the sheep when Joseph's dad told him to go and find the brothers and bring them back. So he put his coat on and off he went, because he always did what his dad told him. When he finally saw them in the distance, he called out and he waved to them, like, I'm over here, as if they couldn't see him in his brightly coloured coat. Anyway, they were really grumpy. So when he caught up with them, they didn't welcome him with open arms. They took his coat away and they stuck him in a hole in the ground. Okay? All the way through, Joseph remembered, even though he was really sad about how his brothers were treating him, that God was always with him. And then, to make matters worse, not only did he lose his coat, he was stuck in a hole. Some traders came along on their camels. And you know what the brothers did? They sold him. Outrageous. They sold their brother into slavery. And then, to make things even worse than that, they told his dad that he died. I think it's a horrible story. Wicked, I think it is. I don't know about you, but I just think that's just outrageous. Now, when we look at the story, okay, we see all the bad things that happened. You know, he was put down by his brothers, he was put in a hole, they told his dad he died, you know, they sold him into slavery and he went off into Egypt. But the big picture, I have to pray for Dawn. The big picture was that Joseph went off as a slave, but he became a very, very important person in Egypt. And after many adventures, he became somebody who was just one down, a couple down from the actual ruler. There was a big famine. Years later, the brothers had to go many years later and ask for help. It was so long that they didn't even recognise their own brother. But his dreams came true because they did have to bow down. Big brothers had to bow down to Joseph. Often, we get stuck on the present difficulties because we can't see the big picture that God is working on. But we always need to remember that God is always with us.